June 9, 2025. PepsiCo walked into its Rancho Cucamonga Frito-Lay plant and told 432 workers their jobs were over. Number 60-day warning. No transfer options. Just a message that said, "You're done." That facility had been producing Cheetos, Doritos, Tostitos, and Funyuns for 55 years. More than half a century of snack production was wiped out in a single day. And here's where things get interesting. A law firm is now investigating whether PepsiCo violated federal law by failing to give workers proper notice. The California Employment Development Department confirmed there was no WARN Act notice on file when employees were informed. 432 people showed up to work. 432 people went home unemployed. But this isn't just about one factory. This is about what's happening to food manufacturing across California. Because when you zoom out, the picture gets a lot darker. Before we go any further, what state are you watching from? Let me know in the comments. Is your state dealing with the same problems California is facing? Or are you a Californian too? Because here's what I mean. In 2023, Smithfield Foods shut down its Vernon plant. 1,800 jobs disappeared. That was Smithfield's only facility in California. In 2018, Kraft Heinz closed its Fullerton Lunchables plant. 248 employees were laid off. In 2015, General Mills shut down its Lodi cereal plant, eliminating 430 jobs. That facility had been operating since 1947. Campbell Soup closed its Sacramento plant back in 2013. 700 jobs were lost. It was the company's oldest plant in America, and they labeled it their most expensive to operate. Do you see the pattern forming? These aren't small companies making isolated decisions. These are some of the largest food manufacturers in the world. And one by one, they're pulling out of California. Now let me tell you what makes the Frito-Lay closure especially fascinating. The Rancho Cucamonga plant at 9535 Archibald Avenue wasn't just any factory. According to popular legend, this is where Richard Montañez, a former janitor, invented Flamin' Hot Cheetos in 1991. PepsiCo disputes that story, and there's been ongoing controversy over who actually created the recipe. But the cultural impact stuck. This plant became part of snack food mythology, and PepsiCo shut it down with almost no warning at all. In its official statement, the company said it was truly grateful for the support it received over the past 5 decades from the Rancho Cucamonga manufacturing team. Grateful. That's the word they chose. While 432 people emptied their lockers and walked out the door. If you want to understand why California keeps losing factories like this, hit subscribe. Because what's coming next explains everything. The numbers I'm about to show you explain everything. And here's what's wild about this closure. PepsiCo isn't struggling. This is a company that generated $91, $85 billion in revenue in 2024. Billion with a B. To put that into perspective, that's roughly $251 million every single day. Day after day. Their net income was $9.7 billion in profit. Not revenue, profit, after everything was paid. Profit. And those 432 workers in Rancho Cucamonga, their combined annual wages probably didn't even show up as a rounding error in PepsiCo's quarterly report. But inside the company, the pressure isn't everywhere. It's concentrated in one place, Frito-Lay North America. That division's revenue actually declined 0.6% in 2024, falling to $24.7 billion. Volume dropped another 3% in the fourth quarter. Then came an additional 2% decline in the third quarter of 2025. People are buying fewer chips. And when sales start slipping, executives start hunting for costs to cut. CEO Ramon Laguarta laid it out during an earnings call. He said, "The demand signal we had in 2023 is different from the demand signal we have in 2025. So there are adjustments we're making to both the assets and the headcount." Translation: fewer people want snacks, so fewer people keep their jobs. I love executive language. Adjustments to headcount is corporate poetry for we fired people. But here's where it gets really interesting. In September 2025, an activist investor called Elliott Investment Management, revealed a $4 billion stake in PepsiCo. $4 billion. That's not a casual investment. That's a very expensive suggestion. When activist investors show up with that kind of money, they want change. They want cost cuts. They want efficiency. And they want it now. Imagine someone buying $4 billion worth of your company and then calling to discuss opportunities. That's the corporate equivalent of your in-laws showing up unannounced and rearranging your furniture. By December 2025, PepsiCo announced plans to cut nearly 20% of its product lineup and chase record productivity savings in 2026. The Rancho Cucamonga Shutdown. That's what productivity savings looks like when you're one of the 432 people who just lost a paycheck. And Rancho Cucamonga isn't the only Frito-Lay facility on the chopping block. In May 2025, PepsiCo closed a Popcorners plant in Liberty, New York, eliminating 287 jobs. 2 facilities in Orlando are scheduled to shut down by May 2026, affecting another 500 workers. A partial closure in Detroit eliminated 83 positions in September. This is a company-wide restructuring, and California was one of the first dominoes to fall. Have you noticed fewer choices at the grocery store lately? Drop a comment and tell me which products you've seen disappear from the shelves. Now here's the part that might surprise you. PepsiCo isn't leaving California entirely. Not even close. They still operate massive facilities across the state, and some of them are actually receiving major investments. Take the Modesto Frito-Lay plant. It spans 500,000 square feet across 80 acres and employs more than 1,100 workers. PepsiCo recently poured $13.5 million into that site for electrification upgrades. They now have 15 Tesla semi-trucks operating out of Modesto. Then there's the Bakersfield Kern plant, the 3rd largest Frito-Lay facility in all of North America. It covers 375,000 square feet, generates its own electricity, and has been operating since 1965. The Fresno beverage facility just added 50 Tesla semi-trucks and expects to save $1 million per year in fuel costs alone. So think about that for a moment. PepsiCo shut down a 55-year-old plant in Rancho Cucamonga while investing millions of dollars into facilities in Modesto, Bakersfield, and Fresno. Same company, same state, very different outcomes. Here's what's really happening. This is consolidation. Close the older plants. Pour money into the largest, most efficient facilities. Automate everything that can be automated. The Modesto plant earned LEED Gold certification back in 2011, becoming California's first food manufacturing site to reach that level. PepsiCo even calls it their sustainability showcase. Rancho Cucamonga, a 55-year-old facility that likely couldn't compete with Modesto's efficiency or automation. The workers in Rancho Cucamonga weren't fired because they failed. They were fired because the building was old and their jobs could be done somewhere else. That's the brutal math of modern manufacturing. If this is changing how you see what's happening in California, hit like and share this with someone who needs to see it, because the bigger picture is even more alarming. Food manufacturing in California has taken a beating in 2024 and 2025. Monterey Mushrooms in Santa Cruz laid off 605 workers. JBS Swift Beef in Riverside cut 374 jobs. Amy's Kitchen, they aren't abandoning California, but they are making decisions that prioritize efficiency over employment. Tesla semis instead of production workers. That's the future of food manufacturing in this state. And it's not just PepsiCo running these numbers. Every major food company is doing the same math: water costs, energy costs, labor costs. Some will double down on massive, automated facilities. Others will leave altogether. The workers caught in the middle are left trying to figure out what happens when a 55-year-old factory shuts down and no one offers them a transfer. Reports indicate those workers received roughly 10 weeks of severance pay. 10 weeks to find a new job in an industry that's actively shrinking. 432 jobs. That's the Rancho Cucamonga number. Not the largest layoff in California history. Not even the biggest food manufacturing shutdown this year. But here's what 432 jobs actually mean to a community. Those workers weren't just making Cheetos. They were paying mortgages across the Inland Empire, buying groceries at local stores, and sending their kids to nearby schools. Those paychecks supported an entire community. The average manufacturing worker in California earns between $55,000 and $65,000 per year. Multiply that by 432 workers, and you're looking at roughly $25 million in annual wages that vanished from the local economy. $25 million that used to circulate through Rancho Cucamonga. Now it doesn't. And remember, those 432 people spent years making the snacks you probably have in your pantry right now. Cheetos, Doritos, Tostitos, Funyuns. They walked into work on June 9, 2025, thinking it was just another normal day. By the end of their shift, they were unemployed. Meanwhile, PepsiCo's stock price holds steady. The activist investors get their cost cuts. And somewhere in Modesto, a LEED Gold-certified facility keeps running, powered by a fleet of Tesla semis. Operations continue. Shares trade. Efficiency wins. That's the story of California food manufacturing in 2025. A 55-year legacy reduced to a thank you statement and a potential WARN Act lawsuit. The Flamin' Hot Cheetos origin story may be disputed, but this part isn't. The factory is dark. The workers are job hunting, and the company is already focused on next quarter's productivity savings. What food brands have you noticed disappearing from your local grocery store? Drop a comment and tell me what's changing where you live. Hit subscribe if you want to keep following what's happening to California's economy. Up next, Coca-Cola shuts down 4 California facilities while spending $500 million on a brand new one. The math doesn't make sense until you understand the strategy. Click that video now.